Hello, my name is Bill. Usually, you see me in a suit talking about fake news. I was going to have me interacting with me, but I decided not to do that. Um, I've been making barrels for the past month or so, making them into really cool patio furniture. And right now, I'm working on a project to to make something for my father for Father's Day. He's a really rad guy. He loves the Raiders. I've got a barrel over there that I'm going to be cutting for him, and the plan is to stain this top nice and black and then get a good clear coat on it, and then put the top on there on a hinge so it can flip over, get some chairs in there, build a cooler in there, and do a few other things. I unfortunately have been really doing a number on this piece of wood, so I'm going to start by staining it and fixing it up, and then go from there on this project. I'll film the whole process. It's just a lot of cutting steel and welding a few different things. It's a lot of fun. They're really easy, and this hopefully will be kind of a guide to show you how to make one yourself if you choose to. Hey, cool, a monster.
Okay, so I ended up wasting a lot of my time here, and to not waste your time, I'll just give you some backstory on me and my dad. We go way back, me and him. He was there when I was born. But aside from that, he's just a really rad guy who's always been there for me, my brothers, my sisters, anybody who's really crossed his path. He's a business owner. He's a financial advisor for a lot of people. He just helps everybody he meets in every way he can. And he's taken me to quite a lot of Raiders games. It kind of started as just like a one-off big trip when I was younger. We went to a big football game with my brother too, me and my brothers. So the tradition melded two traditions together. And now pretty much every year we go to a really big Raiders game, and it's a lot of fun. I am staining and restaining and murdering this board over and over and over again, and it's just a very frustrating process. So all of this is time-lapsed. I forgot my microphone, so I'll be loud, but new barrel lid. I had 3 of these. I have plans to do another barrel. I don't even know if you can see my face. Come on. Oh my god. We're starting with a new barrel lid. I am very stressed. We're gonna make this one look better. That one got too dark. That one got messed up. This one we're gonna make right, and I'm not gonna mess it up. Not to give away the show, but I did end up messing this up a little bit, but not that bad. This is the first time that I've done all of these things together. Usually I just spray a bit of clear coat on the top of the barrel, and then I call it good. Right now we're gonna do the stain, and I'm gonna come back and wipe it off. Then I'm gonna do the other side, but then I realize, oh, I need to do something else. So we get the initial stain on here, and while I'm out in the garage, I go and I take these bases off of this table, or this chair, so that way I can use those later on. Don't mind the gut. I had just eaten dinner. This is late at night. I have a bit of a belly sometimes. Just putting some paint around the edges because the stain it never adheres properly, and I'd rather just do this. It's a nice shiny metallic paint too that I didn't intend to look as good as it did. Hopefully the trash doesn't come up on this. I think you might be able to hear my trash. I'm doing this in the garage, so wait. The trash man has came and went. Not me, this. Now I'm just going to do the epoxy here. This is me mixing the epoxy. This is where the gut was the biggest. But mixing up the epoxy. This is my lovely fiance. We are making sure it is nice and even all the way over there. And then I'm going to do the bubbles. I time-lapsed all of this just because I don't really plan things well, and I wanted to get everything on. And I know that sometimes when I'm not filming in time-lapse, my camera does stupid things on my phone. I really only have my phone camera. This is a nice picture of it after it got cleaned up. So this is after the night, poured at about 9 o'clock last night. So it has hardened up. It's not all the way cured yet, apparently, but it feels like it is. It's nice and hard. It's just gorgeous. I'm so happy that we did this. This was actually at his suggestion, the old man's.
I was just gonna do clear coat, but like this is like a sheet of glass on here. This is beautiful. So today we are going to be sanding and cutting those. All that metal down there is going to be the legs. This barrel is a little stuck because we did the epoxy on it. Thankfully, this is the barrel we're going to be using. We're going to cut out the bottom and we got to cut out the chair forms on that. But all in all, this has given me a lot of drive and go. And burning one right now, but if I go inside and my son is asleep, we're going to be diving into this. He was not asleep, so this is, I'm pretty sure, the next day or later that evening or something. These chair bases are from an old set of, an old dining room set that my dad gave me. It's our old dining room set from the family house. There were 2 chairs that were destroyed beyond reasonable repair from a previous relationship of mine. And, ooh, this is nice. This is the slow-mo. But yeah, so we used those because, I mean, my dad sat in those tables, in that table on those chairs all the time. So figured repurposing those was going to be our best bet. Oh man, is the trash going to be coming by again? What is going on? It wasn't that loud the last time. I think I'm just going to go for it. Yeah, so we cut out the bottom. When I cut out the bottom, I had to add in an extra length in the middle, just so that way it was stable and sturdy. This is me cutting the rest of the bottom out. I think this project took about 2 weeks, but that's just because there was not a lot of time in my schedule to do it. I am a dad of 5 kids, soon to be 6. My fiance is pregnant, so her life is extremely stressful and hard right now, and I try and take care of things as much as I can for her. But I also need some time, sometimes to try and take care of things like this or just things for my own brain. This is me cutting out the forms on the back. I really, really riveted it up on this one because they're not even and they're just not straight. The last 2 barrels that I did, which I'll try and add pictures in all of this, were just a lot cleaner. This is me putting just a matte coat on the back and then, it's clear coat on the back and then I added matte. This is me cutting all the forms for the legs. If you have an angle grinder and you have a welder, these projects are not hard to do at all. That's really all you need. I would love to get a plasma cutter, but just some sunglasses and some time, you get all of this done. It's best to start from the top. That's what I learned the last few barrels, but I forget it sometimes. Sometimes you forget, when you're on your next project. This is me cutting that length so that way I can put it in the middle, grinding everything out, getting some of that edging out. Any metal edge that you can cut out of here, that's the best way to do it. If you're going to leave it, then you got to do that rubber edging. This is me putting that Raiders logo in on there. This is a glossiness on the top. This is where you can actually see the Raiders logo on the backside. It's hard to see it. You really got to let that sun hit right there. What am I doing here? Grinding. Yeah, getting some of those angles cut again for this chair. I made make the 2 chairs, and I always make them one and then I make the other one rather than making them together. That way if I make a mistake on the first one, I can fix it in the second one. And honestly, I did make a mistake on this first one. I just cut it weird. I should have cut the legs shorter, or the middle strap shorter. But it ended up working out. It still looks fine. The second leg that I did does look way, way better. My lights make a lot of noise. This is me grinding out the middle so that way I can weld that. This is me grinding all my edges and stuff. I use a vice clamp, but it's just a little wiggly, so standing on them and grinding with your foot as your clamp works just as well. Bam, 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 getting it all done. Yeah, this is mostly just cutting and grinding. I mean, this is a pretty easy thing to throw together. I really don't do a lot of measurements aside from like, where is this going to sit well? Where is this going to be feeling good? As you can see, my garage is a scrambled mess. That's the way my brain looks. And we still get things done. We still make things that look nice every now and again and take care of business. Yeah, that is me test fitting the base too. This is me making the second legs. These ones went way quicker and way smoother just because after you make the first one, you realize all your mess ups. You can fix it all
in post, essentially. I could have cut those bars. I could have made it better. Now thinking back on it, I probably should have done that, just because there's some random metal jagged edges. They're just really in a not easy spot to get. Then again, my dad does have 16 grandkids, so you never know who's going to be messing around. This is me cutting the second table, or a chair base. I don't have a scroll saw anymore, or a jigsaw anymore. Otherwise, I would have used that. Welding that up, getting that nice triangle in there. This one turned out so much better, so much more straight and strong. They're both super strong. I don't know what the limits are on that. I think it's 1 1/4 inch and 1/8 inch steel bar that I'm getting, that steel tubing, but it is super strong. This is me just grinding down those backsides so I can weld it in there. This is what I've found is the easiest way to do it, is just weld it straight into there, and then I end up screwing them in. This is me trying to just get it a little bit flatter, a little bit smoother. Against that edge, it's not perfect, but at the end of the day, they're getting screwed in on the bottom, so this is more just for that nice fine-tuned look and edge, which it ended up not mattering because I biffed it pretty hard, and I'll explain what happened there in a second. This is me putting on that stain for these. I ended up not staining the bottoms just because it didn't really matter, and we ended up putting that paint on the outside edges. You got to take off all of the brim, all of that jagged metal that's left from when you cut stuff, and then cleaning up my welds. I am not a very great welder. My welds hold, but they're not pretty, so sometimes you got to use an angle grinder to cut down the cookies. And that's me using a hole saw to cut those holes. That's where you can pull them out. Makes it just real nice. This is actually the first barrel that I've made where both chairs fit pretty close underneath. Me cleaning up the rest of the paint, I used a chemical called Carbon Off. It's really good stuff for taking off paint. And yeah, this is me just cleaning up the rest of the barrel with my angle grinder and a brush tool. I ended up having to pull out the old trusty because it is wall powered instead of battery powered, and sometimes I forget to plug in my tools. That paint just comes right off, especially after you've already used the chemicals. That is why I am also using my gas mask, or my thing mask, whatever, my mask. What am I doing here? Oh, this is me testing stuff. I'm doing a lot of testing with this barrel lid right now. This is one of the scrap ones. It's going to end up being a seat for another barrel chair. God, my words are escaping me right now. My garage is warm, and I am not thinking straight. This is me cleaning up the bottom sides because that cord is connected in up the top. Yeah, I was doing a lot of tests with this barrel lid because I don't want to mess up the good barrel lid, the one that I made. So those other ones are going to end up being chair bases for another chair set. I'm going to make my son some gaming chairs for their rooms out of that blue barrel that was stuck to the ground. We ended up getting it unstuck, and I got enough of the epoxy off of the top that I should be able to just cut it and make it look kind of cool for them. I used a big barnyard can of paint right there. I didn't end up filming the whole process. I ended up, towards the end, forgetting to film a handful of things, but yeah, just get them in a nice coat of paint. They dried up. We got a silver paint on there, and then I got the Raiders logo on the top. This is me measuring some stuff for the chairs, but now I'm putting in the cooler. I had to put in some trim up at the top. I think I just had to measure it. This is me putting in clear coat right now on this. I think I go over and I put the clear coat on the chairs. Yeah, I put the clear coat on the chairs too. A lot of this stuff was done late at night, between 9:30 and like 10 or 11, because you got to take care of the shits, you know what I mean? And yeah, this is me putting in the barrel lid, making sure it looks, or not the barrel lid, but the cooler on the lid, make sure it looks all good. I had to make some real custom wooden shim things for the barrel lid to fit in. That garage light turns on and off whenever it wants. Yeah, that's me affixing the not good barrel lid just to test everything, see what fits right, see where it fits well. Those chair pieces get mounted in from the bottom, but they also get mounted in from the back, and I ended up messing up one of the screws. It's a little high up. So we made it work, but it's not perfect, and I am kicking myself. It's been about a week since I've given it to him, and I still am kicking myself from it. This is me putting in the final barrel lid, making sure it works good, putting in the top piece so that way it holds right, and doesn't wobble. I thought it wouldn't wobble, and then I ended up having to make some more so that way it doesn't wobble. And I ended up having to cut a new one for that top one because it wasn't long enough. So many things that I had to redo. And yeah, that's my little buddy, Silly Man. He's in this video quite a bit. He was a little shit in the beginning. This is me putting on that trim. It is so quick in this video. It acts way quicker than it was the first time I did it. I bought this stuff off Amazon, and it's cheaper than the stuff that you can get at like AutoZone or anything like that. And it's a lot more flexible. I don't know about longevity. We will see, because I've got 2 barrels with it now and 1 barrel that has like the expensive stuff. But the expensive stuff is so hard to get on there that, like, you know, it ends up looking like poop anyways because you jack it up so much. Me showing my lovely fiance how the stuff works and what I've gotten done on the barrel. She tries to get that stuff on there. She takes it off. She realizes that it's got a sticky stuff on it, so I quickly just put it back in place. And then I showed her the other stuff to show her how thick it was. Putting this edging on this chair because it had a little bit of a metal lip that I didn't take off and I forgot about until after paint. And then the other one didn't have that metal lip, so we don't have to worry about that. Getting this done, I think, yeah, I was just basking in the fact that I was one step away from basically being finished. Now it's all done. Gorgeous, trying to get that sheen to show. It doesn't show, so. But yeah, you can use that top as a base. Aw, look at that cute couple. We don't drink anymore, so those beers were for show. I bought him Kokanees because I thought he drank Kokanee still. Apparently stopped drinking Kokanee 2 years ago. You think you know a man, you know what I mean? But I don't drink that much. With him, I don't really drink at all anymore. I haven't drank for almost a year now, and I feel pretty great about that. I gotta stop smoking cigarettes, but that's a, you know, that's a bar that we gotta fucking cross eventually. There's a little speaker up top there that goes with it. I know that I'm gonna come in here with Silly Man here in a second, give you guys the rundown at the end. I'm gonna test the lights right now. I just put some lights in there.
I am joined with Silly Man here. We finally finished the barrel. We had a few hiccups on the round on the top. I know that we said we were going to use that one, I think it's that one, and rehab it and make it look better, but instead what we did is we just went with a new round, put some stain on it, put some epoxy over the top. Underneath, I added these things to stabilize it into the hinge. The hinge folds all the way over and can be used as an additional tabletop for light loads. You don't want to be putting a 50-pound weight on there, but it's hard to see. I'll add pictures and stuff. There's a Raider image superimposed onto that with the matte paint. Watch your fingies, Sully. Watch your fingies. Watch your fingies. And then we cut the forms out for the chairs. We cut the wood bases. We cut all these metal bars on the bottom. Got all that stuff welded. Got the bar welded into the bottom of here. We took care of the painting. We took care of staining these woods and getting them all clear coated and stuff. This is something I didn't really show. I did this before I even started filming, but I cut a hole right here for the cooler. And we mounted the cooler into there. I bought a speaker for it to just kind of go with the whole thing. The cooler has little hooks that the speaker goes on. I added, we did the paint, I added the chrome, we did the lights, and then these little cup holders and stuff, just the final bits of detail work. These are the remotes for the lights. We'll turn all these lights off and show you how that works in a bit. But yeah, all in all, if you have a solid week after work, every day, being able to do stuff, you should be able to pump out one of these barrels pretty easily with just standard tools. I use angle grinders. The most advanced thing I use is the welder, and that's not a very advanced welder. So these are very fun to make. They're very easy to make, and you can make them however you want. You don't have to be limited by anything. You can do whatever. So I hope you enjoy the glamour shots that we'll be adding at the end of this, because we'll be doing some close-ups and everything when it's actually out in its home woods. Yeah, it is all said and done now. So thanks for watching.
All right, these are those glamour shots. I apologize, I am not a great editor or a great photographer. I took 2 pictures while I was out there, and the old man ended up taking a way better picture than I ended up taking, I feel like. This is his picture at the end here. This project is a lot of fun. I have a handful more of these barrels that I will take pictures of and show you too. They don't take a lot of work to make. They just take a lot of imagination and creativity. You can be all over the place with them. You can make them however you want. I plan on making some chairs, singular chairs out of whole barrels soon too. This project really came out of, I had a barrel in my garage and I wanted to do something with it. I didn't know what I wanted to do with it, but I knew I had to do something. I got it for free, and then I ended up looking up where I could buy them locally. They're only like $10 a barrel where I live. I live in Washington, Eastern Washington. So it's really not that hard to get a hold of them and fart one out if you got the time and you got the resources. I buy my steel from a local guy, but you can get them from the hardware store, or you can get them from a salvage yard or whatever. I think total resources and everything that you'd use to go on the cheapest end, which this barrel was one of the nicer ones that I've made, but as far as resources go, I didn't actually spend a whole lot. I think it's just because I know how to manage it now versus by the second barrel, I used way too much paint. The first barrel was, all thrown together. I think your total spent on resources with the barrel and the metal and all of that stuff, it's right around $100 if you can keep it there, keep it good. And I see these things go for online. They're right around $700 to $1,300, and they're not even as nice as this. They don't have the wood tops. They don't come with any of that extra stuff. So you can make these really, really nice for way cheaper than you'd be able to buy them online. And you should totally do it if you want. Or you could try and buy one from me, and I'll sell it to you for way cheaper than they sell online.